You're listening to Extra Paycheck Podcast, where you will learn how to build and grow your own successful online business. Now, here's your host, Alex Soul.
Welcome to Extra Paycheck Podcast, and this is episode number 4. In today's episode, we'll be talking with Kevin about building and growing a subscription box company to really incredible levels of success. I hope you enjoy today's show. Hey, Kevin, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks a lot for having me, Alex.
It's great to have you here. I've heard of your business more than once, and I've been really inspired by it. Not inspired to the point of starting my own business by copying yours, but more like amazed by what you guys have been able to accomplish within such a short time, in my opinion. So could you please tell our listeners what exactly is your business?
Yeah, so my business is wetshaveclub.com, and every month we send our members a box with shaving items in it. So it's basically all around wet shaving, which is also known as like traditional shaving. And so every month we send our members a box, and we have a little bit over 1,200 members right now. And they're mostly men, and we're coming out with a women's shaving box. So we're pretty excited for that as well.
Wow, that's really cool. You said about 1,200 members, right?
Yeah, 1,200, and then it's $29 a month. So basically, it'll be 29 times that 1,200.
All right, great. That sounds awesome. And how did you get started with that business?
So about a year ago, because we've had it for just under a year, there was somebody who was selling it on Reddit, and we decided to purchase it from him. So he only had something like 35, 40 members, and his website, there was no branding. It was pretty poorly made. And so we took it and we did a complete rebranding and everything with it. But yeah, we pretty much found the company on Reddit.
That's awesome. And do you know for how long he's had the website before he sold it to you guys?
Yeah, so it was about 6 months.
So he had it for about 6 months, and then you took over.
Yeah, he had it for about 6 months. I think he did a total of like $3,000 in sales.
Over the whole period of 6 months.
Right. So he did that over 6 months, and because he had a subscription for just shaving soaps. So he didn't include like the razor, the blades, aftershave, nothing like that. And so we pretty much took his box and we revamped it quite a bit. And his box was only $12.50 a month. So we more than doubled the price.
That was a good idea for you to more than double the price. Actually, you almost tripled the price. But the thing is, what you've done besides all the branding, you've actually built up that box. You're including a lot more items and a lot more things that he was including. So it's not really just raising the price. You guys actually did so much more than that.
Yeah, we're increasing the value. And one thing that we did too that was huge, which I guess we'll talk about this a little bit more later, was branding. So there was really no branding. So before, when he would send something, his packages had no branding whatsoever. You couldn't tell who it was from or anything. It was just a bag with a plain box inside that had a stamp on it. Not a stamp, but just a shipping label. That's all that there was. So we pretty much have our box it's printed with our own design on it that we got professionally designed. And it matches the design of our website, and everything is just branded all very similarly.
Yeah, that's really great, man. And for those who are curious to see how it looks or maybe want to order and become members, go to wetshaveclub.com.
Yeah, wetshaveclub.com.
Yeah, so there you could check it out. The branding, actually, I love the branding. It doesn't really relate to me because I have a pretty big beard going on at the moment. Haven't shaved for a while, but the branding is really amazing. And if I saw that a few years ago when I was shaving, I would have probably jumped on it. It actually looks really cool, and it looks really expensive. I was going to ask you if you have a lot of clients who signed up or who buy it as gifts more than for themselves.
Yes, we do have like gift subscriptions, and we have our own online store. And the store is where we have a lot more of like, we have gift subscriptions, and there's other items people can buy that are not part of the subscription. But we do have quite a bit of people that are buying gifts. And then every time, it's Christmas or Father's Day, Valentine's Day, we do have a big spike in sales.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. So basically people could buy one-time package. They don't have to subscribe for a year or half a year or something.
Correct. Yeah, that's right.
Okay, that's cool. I think it makes a really good gift idea specifically for the events you mentioned, like Father's Day and stuff like that.
Yeah, we've done pretty well last Father's Day.
Yeah, that's cool. So now I would like to mention numbers a little bit. You've mentioned that the guy who sold you the website had about $3,000 in sales during the 6 months that he owned the business. Now, you bought it almost a year ago. If I'm not mistaken, you bought it in April 2014, right?
Yes, that's correct.
What have you been able to manage sales-wise for almost 12 months?
So it looks like the first full 12 months we're going to do 365,000. So that's where it's looking at. So pretty much $1,000 a day are going to be our average for our first year, which is pretty incredible when you think about the business only did 3,000 its first full 6 months.
It is, man. I wish you could see the huge smile I have on my face right now. This is seriously incredible. Going from $3,000 and it wasn't even like $3,000 a month, so it's even hard to imagine how far you took it. You're telling me over 350 grand in sales within a year of pretty much starting from the bottom, because when you bought it, as you said, it wasn't branded, it wasn't ranking well in the search engines. You only had a few clients there, so it's really, really, really huge difference.
Yeah, it was really tough too in the beginning because, we didn't have the emails, we didn't have the followings, the likes on Facebook, right? Nobody really knew who we were. And so we had to grow that. I mean, now every time we do something, it's a lot easier because we have a bigger following. But yeah, back then it was really, really tough.
Yeah, I could only imagine. And you have a few competitors who have been around and they've built really, really big brands. How did you decide to start this business and kind of go against those huge built brands that everybody already knows?
Well, because there's big competitors, it lets you know that there's a huge market for the product.
That's true.
Right? So everybody always thinks of it the opposite way. They think, well, because there's all these big competitors, then there's no room for me, when it's quite the opposite. It's the complete opposite. So we never start a business unless there's competition in that business. So pretty much, right? And if there's no competition, it's basically telling you that there's no market for what you're trying to do.
That's really good advice right there. I thought of that one a few years ago, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago. So I was actually selling some stuff as an affiliate using Google AdWords. And whenever I would want to start a campaign advertising something, and I would see that there's no competition at all, nobody's advertising the same product or using the same keywords or whatnot, right? So usually you'd be happy, you'll be like, wow, I struck gold. I'm not going to compete against anybody. And then you launch your campaign and you don't get a single click.
Yeah.
Nobody goes because there is no market, or there is simply nobody searching for it, or there is something wrong. Like you said, that's the same thing. The same thing goes on Amazon. It's a pretty big thing right now, right? Amazon FBA, everybody's trying to make money off of Amazon. And it's the same thing. If you guys think that you found a really amazing product and you have no competition, chances are, I would say 99% sure that there is simply no market for that. If there was, people would be already selling it for a long time. So yeah, and honestly, I catch myself sometimes doing the opposite of what you just told me. Sometimes I stumble upon something really interesting to me, at least, and I would be thinking it wouldn't be such a bad idea to start selling that or to go into that business. But then I'm like, yeah, but my competitors, they've been there for 10 years and they're really, really known online. So I just, I stay away from it.
Yeah. I mean, with competition, it's not that you want to do exactly what they're doing, right? It's like,
of course,
they're being a market and you doing the same thing that you're doing, then you're in direct competition with them. Right. Yeah. If we try to be like one of our competitors is like Dollar Shave Club. If we try to do exactly what they're doing with the same type of razors and all of that stuff, then we're directly competing with them. But we're just in competition with like the market, and the market's so huge. That's why they're so big and so successful.
Well, yeah, you have to bring something unique to the table to be able to compete, first of all, and to have your own angle and your take on things, so people will notice you and decide to do business with you. That makes a lot of sense as well.
Exactly.
Okay, so tell me, how was that whole process of, well, let's start with branding. Who was in charge of all of that, and how did you get your logos and your everything?
So my business partner was pretty much in charge of branding. He's really good at that. And where we sourced pretty much everything was 99designs.com. So for people who aren't familiar, 99 Designs is a place where you can hold a contest to get your website completely designed. We even got the design for our shipping box, designed on 99designs.com. So we pretty much, we'll throw the first contest for like the homepage, and then we'll go with that designer for all of the other pieces of the puzzle, pretty much.
Wow, that's really awesome. I've heard of them, but I thought it was only for like website design. So you're telling me they're also they design your actual shipping box?
Oh, they'll design anything you want.
Wow, that's awesome. This goes to all the people who are scared of design and don't know anything about designing or using Photoshop or whatnot. You could actually get something designed for you for relatively cheap. It's not gonna cost you thousands and thousands of dollars to just put up a single logo, right?
No, so I wouldn't even bother with a logo. I would just go for like a whole web page, like your homepage, because usually they're going to create their own logos and all that stuff, and you could just deal with that later. But the main thing is getting like the homepage done. That's the biggest piece, and then go from there. But I do want to stress how important this is. This is the most important. This is like 75 to like 90% of your success is going to depend on your branding and your design. It's crucial. Everybody, I see so many people making the same mistakes where they try to be a designer. It's like the first time ever designing anything, they're going to design their website or their logo and all this stuff because they're being cheap. It's like you're not going to be successful. You're not a professional designer.
Yeah.
You're an entrepreneur. You're supposed to find the best people to do the job that you're trying to get done. So people have to stop trying to be things that they're not. They try to be coders. They try, like when you're getting your website developed, people think that, well, to be an entrepreneur you have to go learn how to do code. No, you don't. It's the complete opposite. You're never going to get started. Your website's never going to come up because you think you're going to. It's like when you go get your LLC or you're going to incorporate your company, are you going to become a lawyer to do that as well? No, you know what I mean? So you have to just go find professionals to do things that professionals should be doing. And it's going to show, and your customers they're going to notice. And it's going to determine if they're going to purchase or they're not going to purchase.
Yeah, I guess it makes a lot of sense, especially in businesses like yours, where design is really important and people will judge your whole service based on the first 5 seconds on your website. That's all they need. They land on your site, they see it for a few seconds, and they make a decision right away. Do they want to buy from you or not?
Absolutely. It's your storefront, right? It's like when people walk into your store, it's exactly what your website is. It has to look nice. It has to be cohesive. It has to be very clear what you want me to do. Subscribe or buy this or sign up, whatever you want me to do. It has to be very, very concise. And so many people fail on this. And they have horrible design. It looks bad. But here's the thing: because they worked on it themselves, they think it looks good.
Yeah, guilty of that.
I used to do that myself. You spend 2 weeks working on your website, and you look at it and go, "Wow, I got that there, and I got this exactly where I wanted it. This looks great." But it doesn't look great. It just looks great because you've been working on it for so long.
Yeah, I agree with you because you don't see it as a design or as a website. You see it as how many hours you've invested learning how to do that and how to actually do that.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's how you see it. So yeah, it looks amazing to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Okay, cool. So you guys got your branding. You start working on making the product of better quality, of increasing the value. How did you get to finding new clients and finding more clients for that, for your product?
So the first thing that we did was we advertised on Facebook. And we advertised on Facebook a lot. I think I was spending up to like $450, $500 a day. But we were getting a lot of new members. So I think we were averaging like over 300 new members every month. So by like the was something like the third or fourth month we had, I don't know, maybe 600-700 members, something like that.
Wow.
And that was pretty much all through Facebook. And what happened through that is people would start posting links because they saw our Facebook ad on forums and, all these different websites asking, do you know about this company? What do you guys think about this Wet Shave Club box? And we got a lot of links from that, and that helped us with SEO. And then we also got people coming in from, all these forums and everything. So the Facebook, it wasn't just Facebook. It was, people sharing our product.
Yeah. Wow. That's actually really awesome that it's kind of your SEO results are kind of a byproduct of doing paid advertising with Facebook.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. It's not the primarily where we got a lot of our backlinks. Most of our backlinks came from us sending out boxes to bloggers for reviews. So we pretty much anyone who had a blog that was somewhat popular and wanted to do a review, we just give them a box. And from that, we got a lot of links and a lot of traffic. But that was what helped our SEO the most.
Okay, cool. Did you guys search for bloggers one by one, or did you use a service like Thomason or something like that?
We pretty much searched for them one by one. We kind of looked for bloggers that would have our customers reading their blogs, right? So we kind of, there's not that many of them. So it was kind of easy for us.
Okay, so if you were looking for kind of blogs that your customer might read, that means you already knew who your perfect customer is, right?
Well, I mean, you have an idea. It's going to be obviously male. So there's only like 20% of blogs are like catered for men, right?
Okay.
So that really cuts it down. And then it's going to be by a particular age group, and it's going to be mostly manly men or like men who like things that are like the general feel is like things from like the 60s. Like cool manly stuff, like Art of Manliness was a big one. We got, I don't know, maybe 400 members came from them.
Wow.
Over time. So yeah, that type of feel is what we were going for. And then, later it just kind of became whoever, as we can afford it more easily, whoever had a decent blog, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's really cool. That's interesting. And I guess sometimes we forget about those things, but it's kind of complicated in the sense that, as you said, or as I said, regardless, that you can't just send it to a blogger. You have to send it to people who have to be somewhat related to your industry. You can't just send your shaving kit to a blogger who reviews gadgets. It doesn't really make any sense.
Yeah, that's completely true.
And I guess the same thing with Facebook. Did you guys target, do you know if you targeted specific pages or, people who like specific pages, or how did you do that?
Yeah, so we targeted people who like things like, Art of Manliness, or people who liked, obviously wet shaving, safety razors, things like that. We would target those people. And then we also would target people who had made specific amounts of income. So obviously, somebody who's making $15,000 a year, we don't really want to advertise to them because this is more of a luxury item.
Yeah, exactly.
A necessary, cheap way to shave. So
exactly.
Yeah, we target it pretty specifically.
Yeah, that's cool, man. And I think that's also key to especially paid advertising, because you could you could target the whole Facebook, you could target all the users and people will click on it, but nobody's gonna buy, and it'll cost you a fortune.
Yeah,
so
you really have to spend your time, and you have to know what you're doing. These are one of the things where I kind of like doing it, and because you really understand who your target audience is, and you understand where they're where they're hanging out, how they're gonna like. But it doesn't work for everything.
Yeah, of course it doesn't.
And I think items that are over like $30, Facebook isn't really that good for, because obviously people aren't on Facebook to order something, right? They're not buying anything. So, but if there's something that piques their interest, that's $20, $30, they're likely to convert, right? But they're not going to convert for something that costs $500, because that's something that somebody has to think about for a while before they purchase it, and they're probably not going to start that thinking or end that thinking on Facebook. It's you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense actually. Now that you mentioned it, I'm trying to think of some of the latest ads that I've been seeing on Facebook, and usually that's what it is. Usually it's items between, I would say, $15 and $30, like t-shirts and shaving kits. There you go once again, and yeah, pretty much anything that I see is under $30. I actually haven't thought of it until you mentioned it.
Yeah, it's the exact thing. They're not on Facebook to buy, but if it's cool, you'll spend a little bit of money just to buy something. So it depends. It depends on what you're doing.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, so now you're getting customers from Facebook ads. I guess you're getting new customers because bloggers are writing about you. How did you manage to grow your social following? Because it seems to me that it's actually pretty decent as well. How did you guys do social?
So it's different for everyone. We're not that big on Twitter, for one, just because I'm not really super familiar with it. My partner is, but we haven't seen a lot of traffic from Twitter. So what's really worked for us really well is Facebook and Instagram. So with Facebook, a lot of our likes came from things like contests that we ran, and every time somebody would visit the website, on the top section of the website, there's a way for you to like the page. And we also, and in the beginning, we were doing the paid advertising, we were getting lots of likes as well. So I think we're only up to like 12,000 something on Facebook. That's where we got a lot of our likes from. And then on Instagram, we ran a program called Instagress.
Okay.
And using Instagress, basically what it'll do is it's going to like or follow people who are using hashtags that you're interested in. So anybody who posts something with the hashtag, wet shave, safety razor, anything like that, it's going to show our profile liking and or following them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
so that way they're much more likely to follow us and see what we're about, and then of course they're going to be introduced to our brand.
Yeah, that's really cool, man.
And if you look at popular accounts that are around, like your niche or your industry, or whatever, and you select followers or who they're following, it's much easier to follow those people because all you have to do is you can just click all the way down the page.
Yeah,
if you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, so that's a great way, to go after your competitors' followers or something like that.
Yeah, and I guess because they're already following a similar account, so there's no reason why they wouldn't be interested in following your account.
Yeah.
I was wondering what kind of content you post on Instagram. I mean, like, where do you get that content to post?
So the content comes from a lot of like Tumblr or other cool people that we're following. Right. Like, and again, this goes back to somewhat of like what your brand is about. Like, what's the general feel of what you're trying to do? And so we have a lot of pictures that are outdoorsy. They're just really cool. There's no general like theme, I would say, but we don't try to sell all the time. It's very rare. It's pretty much 90% of everything that we post is just cool stuff, like cool pictures we like. It's like if it's the morning, we'll post like an image of like coffee in the morning. We'll if it's in the evening, we'll post some like alcohol or something like that, right? And then every 8 or 9 posts, we'll actually try to sell something. And so,
well, you have to.
Yeah,
you have to ask for the sale.
Yeah, eventually you have to ask for it. So, but you don't want to on social media. You don't want to just sell. And what you want to do is you want to like sell the brand. You want to sell what you're about. And people will like or follow you because what you're doing is cool. You're posting cool stuff.
Totally, man. I agree with you. I've spoken to a few people recently. I mean, people who I've been recording the podcasts with, and some of them have really good results from social media. And that's pretty much everyone gives similar advice. They say just be interesting. Don't be a pushy salesman. That doesn't work anymore. Especially in the social media world, it really doesn't work. You have to provide good content, and that's pretty much it. You have to make people feel good. And if you ask them in every post, if you ask them to buy your stuff, I think you actually make them feel bad and you make them annoyed.
Yeah, it's kind of like what works is telling people not to buy your stuff. Like if you post, "Here's my product, don't buy this." That's going to work so much better than posting on social media, buy this product. So
Yeah, that sounds funny, but I guess it's true.
yeah, and you kind of have to create, when you're doing social media, something that you would want to follow. Create a page that you would like and you would or follow. Otherwise, the odds of someone else's is probably really low.
Yeah.
So just posting cool stuff. You see a really cool image, repost it, or create your own too. Obviously, we do create a lot of our content, but it's difficult sometimes. And there's people posting really great stuff that can be reposted that a lot of your followers have never seen before. So of course we give credit every time we can to the original photographer. But yeah, you just need to create something that you'd like.
Yeah, great advice, man. Thanks for that. And I think for these kind of brands like yours, I think social media marketing is crucial as well, because that's where it's happening right now.
Yeah, pretty much, I would probably say half of our customers right now come from social media.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a huge component for us.
Half of your customers, or that's a lot. And you, as you already told me, it's mostly Instagram and Facebook, right?
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much all we're doing right now is Facebook and Instagram.
And do you guys still do a lot of Facebook advertising?
No, we don't do a lot of Facebook advertising. We will do, if we're doing like a contest where we're giving away like 3 memberships or something like that. I think it's then fine to spend a little bit of money on Facebook, because what you're going to get is you're going to get a lot of emails from people entering that contest. And so your money's going to go a lot further, because then you can take those emails and then re-advertise to them for free. So, you can spend $100 and get 800 emails, and then from those 800 emails eventually get, maybe 30 new members, rather than spend $100 on just trying to get conversions and get 3 conversions.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Plus, on top of it, if you guys launch a new product, you could always contact the same people that you had who had subscribed to your email list. You could always get in touch with them once again without really spending any money.
Absolutely. One of the things that we're really trying to focus on right now is building communities. And so sometimes those aren't, public communities. Sometimes those are just emails that you have, right? But the more emails you can get, the more followers you can get, the more likes you can get, the more all of this, launching new products or going this way or in that direction, becomes so much more easier when you have a larger community. So that's one of the things that we're really, really focused on right now, is building a community. And one of the things that we did too, that we just started yesterday, was we launched a Facebook group for Wet Shave Club members. And it's basically just a place where they can go and they can, talk about shaving, or, what they shaved with today, questions, videos, any of that stuff. And it's pretty successful right now. We're hoping that that's going to help our retention rate. And then also, when you start building a community like that, those people are much more likely to refer you to their friends and families, or share your stuff, because they feel like they belong. They're part of the company rather than just solely a customer.
Yeah, there's that. And there's also, in your case, you guys are really transparent about the whole business.
We have a completely separate community where we're completely transparent, and that's actually Groove Learning.
Yeah,
that we're building right now. I'll just plug it right now if you don't mind. It's
go ahead, sure.
Facebook.com/groups/Groove Learning. Right now there's like 650 members, and that's where we're completely transparent. We talk about everything. We kind of do it just because it's fun for us.
Mm-hmm.
We like seeing all this interaction and getting feedback and this and that. But yeah, we just really love being transparent.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm going to add the links that we mentioned. I'm going to add them in the show notes.
Awesome.
At the episode description, so people who want to join or who want more information, they could get in touch with you or find the group and so on. But back to what I just said a few minutes ago. What I meant really, yeah, you're transparent about your business. But what I meant is that when I Google your business name, it kind of comes up. It wasn't that hard to find your business side of things. That's what I meant about being transparent,
Yeah. There's nothing to hide.
Yeah.
like so many people are secretive of like their revenue and this and that. I don't understand. There's just no reason for us to hide anything, and it actually helps you when you're transparent. It's actually kind of like one of the best free ways to market your company is to talk about it.
Yep.
What are you doing? What did you do wrong? What did you do right? It's all really important. And people will talk about it and share links, even if they're not customers. Right? It's not about getting customers. It's just about getting those links, getting the word out there, getting more people to know about your company. That's really what you should be doing for your company.
Hustling as much as you can.
Yeah, it's hustling in any way possible. And this side of hustling is actually helping people, which is great. There's so many people that if you look at like the comments who are like, this is motivating me to actually get off my butt and actually do something. So it helps your company a little bit and it makes you feel good. So
totally, man, that is so true. And I've been personally, I've been really, I would say I've been really more interested in entrepreneurs who are very, very transparent, because some of them, they have crazy amounts of success and pretty much whatever they do, they make it big. And I know that probably I wouldn't get to that point as they are. And, I'm not really a competition, but since they are so transparent, they actually get so many questions and comments from everybody else that there's nothing that stays unanswered, So if you want to jump into the business, either the same kind of business or any kind of business, really, those kind of people and those kind of groups, they give you all the information you would ever need to know. And that's the same thing with you guys. You've been answering a lot of questions from people who are curious about starting some kind of company.
Yeah, and it goes back to, it's just fun. It's just really fun for us. Sharing what we've learned and what worked for us, what didn't work for us. It's just something it's just like a little hobby. It's not like we're directly trying to get something from it. It's just a really cool thing, to build a community and have people that share your interest.
Yeah.
Right? Because if you're going to be in business, it's got to be something that you're somewhat interested in. You're going to be interested in business, right? Otherwise, you would never try to start your own business. So we all kind of share this general interest, and it's just nice to talk to people about it and talk about what you know.
Yeah, it's so true. This is why I personally join a lot of communities and groups and so on that talk about businesses, even if it's completely unrelated to the kind of business that I do or I want to start, right? It's the whole mindset is interesting, and I guess helping others and getting help from others. Yeah, it's something really awesome, and you guys are doing it well. And I'll be more active on your Facebook group. I just joined as well.
Awesome.
So yeah, I'll be asking some questions and hopefully answering some questions for other people too, because I'm starting. I have a side project that I'm just starting. It's for the very first time. It's a physical product as well, because so far for the past 7 years I've been doing online marketing, but it's mostly affiliate marketing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's earning a commission per product that I sell, but it's not my products. All I do, I just promote them kind of. So I never get to touch any of the products. And now finally I'm starting a business where I have my own physical product. And I've been like joining groups and places like crazy. I'm spending so much time learning everything I could possibly learn. And yeah, it's really awesome that I could find places like that.
Yeah, it's great. And, this is also kind of going into the thing where it's great to learn as much as you can learn, but at the same time, nothing replaces application.
Yeah.
Nothing replaces actually taking action.
Totally.
It's like, I think I posted this on the group yesterday. It's like reading books about business will make you as much money as reading books on fitness will get you in shape.
Exactly.
Right? Like it really helps to understand how it works, but nothing replaces actually taking action.
Yeah.
So, you'll learn so much more through building your business than, spending that time learning about how to start your own business. Just there's no replacement.
Yeah, that is totally true, man. And that's kind of what I'm gonna give myself a compliment here. I've been actually good at that, because what I usually do is, let's say when I'm starting something new, I would actually start doing it, and only then I go to look for help. Let's say when I get stuck at something, this is why I join all these groups, and this is why I learn. But as soon as I learn something new, and the same goes with this podcast. This whole thing was totally new to me, and there's so many details, but I don't jump into these details and try to figure it all out right away. I just, I take it step by step. So I've recorded the podcast. Only then I start looking how to edit.
Yeah.
So I finished editing. Only then I look at how to publish it, step by step. But like you said, without taking action, all this knowledge, it's kind of useless in a way. I mean, it's not going to do you any good if you just sit on it and do nothing.
Yeah. That's another point that you brought up too, is if you try to attack everything, it's always going to be so overwhelming. It's like starting a business, you go, okay, well, I got to do the legal stuff. I got to do the website stuff. I got to do the product stuff. I got to do this. I got to do that. It's like, no, you just got to do the first step, and you just focus on that. Get figure out the name, what you're going to sell, who you're going to, like the basic stuff. Otherwise, it just becomes so overwhelming, you'll never start.
That is really, really that is correct. That's how it works. Okay, so we're going to wrap it up soon. I have a few more questions for you.
Sure.
First one will be about the future of your business. So you told me that soon you'll be launching a women's line of subscription box.
Yeah, and we just posted it on Reddit about maybe like 2 hours ago. So we did something like 350 to 370 our first year. We're still like 3 weeks away. But our second full year in business, or actually I think 2015 this year, we're aiming for over $1 million. And one of the ways that we're going to do that is with the women's shaving box. And we did a pre-sale. We've already sold 100 of them, and
wow.
Nobody even knows what's going to be inside of those boxes.
That is so awesome.
So we think that there's a potential for it to be actually more popular than the man's side of the business. We'll just wait and see. But I think with the way things are going, we'll do well over $1 million. So there's that business. But I don't think we've talked about this, but I also used to have another business that was a house cleaning business where you could order online. And it's essentially just a local service-based business. And we're actually launching one tomorrow. We're going to launch it in a state we've never been in. And it's going to be a local service-based business, and we're going to launch it in 27 days. And we're going to do it all remotely, and we're going to post everything online every day. It's going to be completely 100% transparent, and that starts tomorrow on the 1st of April.
Okay, now that's going to be a real case study of like I think that has a potential of going huge.
Yeah, it does. So my partner actually posted one pretty much identical a while back, and I followed those exact steps to build my company Instamaids.com, which I sold in late 2013. But I after about maybe like 4 or 5 months in business, that company was doing $40,000 a month.
Wow.
And I just followed his steps. And so we're going to do that again, and we're going to do it much more in depth.
Yeah, and where is it going to be posted?
So it's definitely going to be posted on our group, the Facebook group, Groove Learning. It's going to be on our blog as well, which is not up yet, but it should be up, this week.
Okay.
And I think you'll be able to. Oh, actually, Entrepreneur Ride Along is our subreddit as well.
Entrepreneur Ride Along. I'm going to mention that in the show notes as well, because I think a lot of people listening to this, they would be really, really curious to see business being built really from the ground up, right?
Yeah.
Like, as you said, in a city, in a state that you've never been to. So it's really something special.
We haven't done anything yet. We're going to start tomorrow. We're going to wait till tomorrow. It's going to, in 27 days, we're going to actually have it. We're going to have our first customer in 27 days.
How are you so sure?
Because it's easy.
No, but I mean, like, okay, I guess I asked you a wrong question. Not how are you so sure? Why 27 days? Where did you get that number from?
It's I'm not really sure. It's kind of, my partner had the previous 27 days before ride along, just because there's 30 days in a month, and we just set it so that the first like 3 days you can actually spend that time thinking about mindset, and why you want to start a business, why it's important, why it should be important for you, blah, blah, blah. And then you go into actually starting the business. So it's just kind of, it's not really an important number, but it's a long enough time where you can do things without spending your entire day, every single day working on it, where you get burned out. So with all the stuff that we're doing here and all of our other businesses, we're going to start a new business and we're going to prove how easy it is, how you can do it remotely, and how you don't need, a massive amount of time to do it. And one thing that I do want to say too, do I have like a minute here?
Oh yeah, sure. Go ahead. Take as long as you want.
I think this is really important because people always try to start like sexy businesses, right? They always try to start like the next app or really cool website or Uber or Airbnb. Even people that have like never started their own business before are trying to start this type of business. It's crazy, and they do it because it's like a sexy business. But the thing is, all of the other smart people that are young are going after these sexy businesses. So you're competing with the smartest people in the room. But meanwhile, there's industries like house cleaning, lawn care. Most of them are local service-based businesses that are dominated by medium-sized companies that are doing $1 to $10 million a year, and they have zero online presence. Yeah, you can't order online. You can't book online. You can't find them on social media or anything. And that's where we're going to be dominating because it's really, really easy to enter those markets and to advertise. And it's not sexy, right? And it's just the easiest. For me, it's like it's local business. Local service-based business is like the easiest possible business you can do. And you also, versus products, you don't have to buy products before you're selling them, right? So with like a local service-based business, somebody orders a house cleaning. Well, you're not paying the maids before they go do the job and before you get paid. You pay the maids after you get paid. So it's the complete opposite of products, which is something that we found that was really, really difficult with Wet Shave Club, because the more and more that we grow, the further and further out we have to buy inventory.
That's true.
So local service-based business for us, we found to be incredibly easy. And my partner actually has Maids in Black, which is in that subreddit on Entrepreneur Ride Along. And I think he's going to be doing about $3 million this year.
Wow.
And this is his, I think, third or fourth year in business. Not a lot. Not a lot of time.
That's incredible.
And
so, yeah, all he does, it's like you said, is the same. He lets people order the cleaning service, but he doesn't actually clean the houses or anything, or own a cleaning company. Or
Rohan's never cleaned a house in his life. He wouldn't know where to start. He wouldn't be able to pick one cleaning product. You don't need to know that stuff. All that you're really doing is understanding how to acquire customers, how to acquire the actual people to go do those services, and then just put them together.
Yeah.
That's all you're doing. And, I had Instamaids. I think when I sold it, we did a total like $400,000 in sales. I never once went to my customer's house.
Wow.
I never once seen their house.
Cool.
So, yeah, just because I think Charles No says this. He says you can have an exciting business and a boring life, or a boring business and an exciting life, right? And which harpens back to, why do you want a sexy business? Don't you want just an easy, simple business that allows you a little bit more freedom or whatever it is that you're looking for?
Yeah, totally, man. I personally hear every day from someone I know or someone I know online that they want to start the new Instagram, new Tinder, new something else. It's usually apps and like these huge startups. And I'm like, do you know that like 99% of startups fail, if not more, within the first few months?
And it costs so much money. I mean, you could take $3,000, launch your own house cleaning or lawn care company, and be making money in less than 30 days. I mean,
probably, yeah.
We do it all the time. And most people that are in Groove Learning are doing the exact same thing because of previous groups and communities that we've built. But it's really, really possible. So the idea that you're going to go start your own app and become a billionaire is like winning the lottery.
Yeah, pretty much.
And most of those people who are trying to do that never started their own successful business before. So
yep. Yeah, it's like, have you heard of the story of Angry Birds?
I have not. No.
Okay, so you know of the game, right?
Yeah,
Of that
I
app,
do.
the game, right? So they're like a $3 billion company right now,
Right.
and what happened is that it was a few designers, coders all together. So they already had like a lot of investment. They had a lot of investors who helped them out, and within 2 or 3 years of their existence, I think they're like in Sweden or something. They built somewhere between 50 and 60 games and apps, right? Like really professional games and apps, about 60 of them, and they all failed one by one by one by one. Imagine how much money was lost. And finally, after like 2 years of not giving up, they struck gold with Angry Birds. But it cost them like $200 million to get to the point of investors' money, right?
Right.
They mentioned more than once that Angry Birds was their last game. They said, okay, we started working on this game. We're launching that, and if that doesn't work, we're gonna close up shop and take our losses because it just, we can't make it. And these guys, like you said, these are the smartest guys in the room.
Yeah.
And they have millions of investments. They have hired like craziest designers and people who actually do research and try to figure out which games work, which games don't. And even them, it took them like 60 games to finally accomplish something. So yeah, most people who have no clue how it's done, and if you're starting an app, sure, yeah, maybe you could make it, but like you said, it's like winning the lottery. Most apps will fail. It will cost you money, it will cost you time, and sorry guys, but you won't become the next Facebook. It just probably not gonna happen.
Yeah, and the other thing too is you're not limited to just one company in your life. Right?
Exactly.
Like start small, start with something that's easy, learn the basics like of business, not what you learned in a class, because that's not like real business. Like real business today is like, how are you acquiring customers online, which is not something that they're really teaching in school. Like going into to those depths. So learning that with a basic simple business, and then maybe starting another somewhat similar business, right? Getting more and more income and increasing your revenues, and then maybe branching off into something where it's much more risky, but if it fails, it's not the end of the world. You still got two successful businesses.
Exactly. I was just gonna say that once you have a business or two that are making you money, you could slowly try to create that sexy business, as you mentioned, but it's not.
Yeah,
it's not really worth it to try to start your career and become a billionaire by tomorrow by launching like a super app in the next few weeks.
Yeah, it doesn't work like that. Like Elon Musk, didn't just start SpaceX. That wasn't his first business.
Yeah.
He made a video game. That was his first successful business. And then
really,
yeah, it was so when he was 12, he made that. And then I think it was called Space Blasters.
Okay.
and then he made another company. I forgot what the name was when he was I think it was after college, which was basically replacing the Yellow Pages, which he sold for like 20 something million. And then he went into X.com, which was partnered with PayPal. They became PayPal.
Yeah.
And so yeah, he didn't just start a car company, Tesla. That wasn't his first company.
Yeah, but even Tesla, he almost went bankrupt with Tesla actually at some point.
That's true. That's a really, really good point. But at the same time, he didn't just start right away.
Exactly. Yeah, he didn't start right away, and I mean, this guy knew what he was doing. So he invested as much money and time and effort into Tesla because he knew he was 100% sure what he was doing, and he was 100% right.
Yeah.
He knew it would work at some point. And as you mentioned, he didn't start with that. He already had like so much real life business experience behind his back, once he got to that.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, man. So I'm going to ask you one last question. What would be this is always a hard question and people sometimes hesitate what to answer. What would be your most important advice to a total beginner entrepreneur, someone who's just really starting out, or actually someone who's thinking of starting something out, any kind of business? And yeah, what would be your biggest advice?
Start today. Start right now. Like, you have no time to waste.
That's
for you to think, well, I'm going to. Here's another thing too. People are like, oh, I have to do all this market research and I have to do this and I have to do that are just stalling and stalling and stalling. The biggest piece of advice I have to give any entrepreneur is start today. You have to have this like sense of urgency where it has to be done as quickly as possible. Everything has to be done. Like what we do here is like whenever somebody asks, should I send out an email today or tomorrow? It's like today. So right now is the best time. And the best time to start a business is today because it takes time. Time is such an important component of business. And so if you start today, you're grounding yourself and really setting your foundation for your future. And so it doesn't matter if what you're starting is going to fail or succeed. What's important is that you're starting right now.
That is great advice, man. That is totally true. I see that happen all the time, and this is the advice that I often give people. Not exactly that, but it was what we've said before. I said take action, take massive action, as much as you can, as often as you can. That's what's gonna get you somewhere. Not deciding to create something perfect, perfect business, perfect logo, perfect marketing strategy. Just jump into it, and perfect's gonna come later.
Yeah,
if it ever does.
If it's perfect, you took too long to do it.
Exactly. There you go. Great advice, man. Well, thank you so much for your time. I really, really appreciate it. And I hope to hear from you and Rohan soon, maybe in a year. I think that would be actually a good idea if we ever get to that, if we get to another podcast, because I'm really curious what you guys are going to achieve. So far, I've been completely amazed and inspired by what you two are doing.
Thanks a lot, Alex. It's going to be a crazy year for sure.
All right. So thanks again, man. Thanks so much.
All right. Thanks a lot. Have a good one.
Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Extra Paycheck Podcast. Now, make sure to check out the show notes at extrapodcast.com/4. This is where you'll be able to comment, to ask questions, and to find all the resources we talked about throughout the show. Also, if you enjoyed this episode or any other episodes, I would really, really appreciate it if you could go to iTunes and leave a review for the Extra Paycheck Podcast. This will help me tremendously, and I would be really, really thankful. Once again, thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll talk next week.